want to take you back for a second. 2004.
Taking me back? 2003 or 4?
2004. What would you tell that guy now?
What would I tell that guy now? You have no idea. It's like, just wait. That year ain't in the grand scheme of years. No, I mean, we've just continued to have that feeling, and that those things that I said were things that continued to happen, you know, over the years. And so I was very, when I see that back, I even got perplexing in there, you know, because it can be, you know. So that was a pretty good assessment of the time, and it's continued. So I'm very, very happy about that.
You're 3 days away from a dream that you've had for a long time.
Biggest gig in the game, right?
Biggest gig in the game. How have you prepared for it, and how is it different? Because you play stadiums all the time.
You know, it actually is very different. The preparation process is different for everybody. I mean, I'm sure my process and our process is different than everybody else's, but it's been kind of almost like a study in performance and a study in other aspects, outside aspects.
Who have you studied?
Just, I mean, I've watched every single halftime show there has been, just to get inspiration and to see what people did. And I remember a lot of them, but
sure,
you know, just to go back and revisit some of my favorite ones, and especially the rock bands, and especially the stuff like, you know, the Prince one, which is legendary, and Tom Petty, and the Stones, and Springsteen, and you know, all the artists, all the bands that I feel like we are most kind of connected with musically. And you know, it's been amazing. And then there's the other side of it, which is, you know, preparing yourself physically, you know, for the whole thing too. So I've been treating it like I'm about to play in the Super Bowl myself. Working out a lot, you know, taking care of myself for the past 30 days.
How do you prepare for the spectacle of it all? You're not a I mean, I'm not a dancer either, but you're not a dancer, so
no. How
do you prepare to make this a spectacle?
This is kind of the answer to every question when it comes to the Super Bowl and Maroon 5's involvement in it. The music, you know, the spectacle is the music. The way that we speak is through the music, and the way that we emote and perform is through the music. So I think that this has been, you know, the curation, I guess, of the show and putting it together, and that whole process, figuring out what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, that is all being centered around the music. And so to me, you know, where there usually is a little more fanfare and there's a lot more, there are dancers and there are, I guess, bells and whistles.
There's dancers,
Yeah, we just kind of wanted to bring it back to a time when it was a little more simple, when the shows were, the highlight, the focus was the connection to the songs. To me, that's what always, that's why we're still here. That's why that was me in 2004, and that's, I think, why we're here in 2019.
This performance, there has been controversy around you guys playing this performance, and
has there?
Just a little. What went into your decision to play the Super Bowl halftime show?
When you look back on every single Super Bowl halftime show, it's this like insatiable urge to hate a little bit. I'm not in the right profession if I can't handle a little bit of controversy. It's what it is. We expected it. We'd like to move on from it. And like I said earlier, speak through the music.
The music. Did you talk to anybody before you made the decision?
Maybe. I did. I spoke to many people. Most importantly, though, when I silenced all the noise, listened to myself, and made my decision based upon how I felt about it all.
Why'd you guys cancel this press conference?
The NFL canceled the press conference. You'll have to speak with them.
Has this changed the way you go about this performance?
I could say yes and no, because honestly, I think that being in a band and being an artist and publicly appearing and performing, you have to take into account all of the things are surrounding you. In that case, it's no different than any other concert. So no, you know, I think we put together a show based upon the things that we had collected over the last 20 years. And most recently, I think we just wanted to make sure that we were able to speak, once again, through the music. And so, yes, absolutely. Once we processed all of these things, and look, it took a lot of looking inward, it took a lot of introspection, and I thought to myself, what's my greatest tool? You know, what's the thing that I can use to express myself, and how the band can, what's the best way for the band to express themselves, and how are we going to do it this year? What do we owe ourselves? What do we owe the people? And that's what we did, and I'm beyond proud of the finished product. And I've never been more excited in my entire life to present this to the people, because I believe that it's truly a reflection of all of us.
Having known you for a while, I know you're not someone who would take this decision lightly. And looking at the past people you've collaborated, I'm assuming that when you say you looked inside hard.
I did, absolutely, 100%. I will never sit here and deny that. I think that to have not done that would have been deeply irresponsible. So I did. No one thought about it more than I did.
Okay.
No one put more thought and love into this than I did.
Having Big Boy out there, Atlanta's own.
Atlanta, baby.
What does that mean to you to have him as part of the show? And could that mean also, because people are asking, could that mean that we will hear Outkast music or an Outkast reunion?
I cannot divulge the details on that level because that would be spoiling it. We don't want to do that. Big Boy is my dude. He's been incredible. He is Atlanta. I mean, when I think about music and I think about the Atlanta scene and I think about all these guys, like, he is just such an incredible, I mean, even yesterday walking out, start dress rehearsals, you know, the reaction. He embodies so much of where we are. And to me, that especially this year, but I mean, it'd be a nice thing every year to pay homage musically to your geographical location is a beautiful thing, and he epitomizes music in this part of the country. So, man, there's no more perfect, well-suited human being.
Now you have Travis Scott, one of the young bucks.
Young man, young Travis Scott. He's been incredible too, man. He's great. You know, it's one of those things where so much of what we do and a lot of the ways in which we collaborate with other artists involves hip hop. I mean, from day one, to be honest with you, that's the funny thing about our band is that we're on the surface. We've always been a rock band, and maybe we've ventured into other parts of music and things that have interested us. But whenever anybody asks me, you know, how did it all begin, especially with Maroon 5, it's 100% this shift of focus into R&B and hip hop and all this great stuff that was happening in 1999, 2000, 2001, and all these great, incredible artists and producers and writers emerging, and you know, that was the game that we wanted to be in. And it was a little bit audacious because for obvious reasons, but that was every album that we made was always our greatest attempt at emulating our heroes in rock and roll, but also in hip hop and R&B too. So Travis, back to Travis. Travis is it right now. he's the one. You know, it's like this is a moment for him, and we love what he does, obviously. We love what he represents because we love having there be a presence. This is the show that's going to have the biggest hip-hop presence that there has ever been on the show. I mean, I can't look back and find that to have been the case before. So he's it. He's the man right now, and he comes in hot.
All your ladies, the most important ladies in your life, be here.
Yes.
And do they have any idea? There's no way your kids can understand the importance of this moment, can they?
No, they're too little. But you know, I think that, and the little kids that they're gonna stay home. It's a little bit of a fiasco out here. It's a little crazy. We're gonna keep them home. My wife will be out here though, very very soon, which is gonna be nice. But they're gonna watch on TV. I'm gonna wear daddy bracelets so they can see that I'm representing them well.
So they'll know, and they'll always have that.
And they get to watch on TV. I'm sure they prefer that too.
Yeah,
to the chaos. Yeah.
Right. Get rid of that chaos.
Yeah.
This is also when we talked about this being an important dream for you, and now this dream comes to fruition, and you think about someone who helped you make that dream was Jordan. Your former manager, Jordan Feldstein. It's been almost a year since he passed away tragically, but what does it mean, and will you think of him when you walk up on that stage?
Yeah, of course I will. I'm here because of me, and I'm here because of the band, but I'm here because of Jordan. This was our thing, you know, this was what we wanted. So, of course, you know, and ultimately, when looking at all this stuff and needing him and listening for him, you know, that was a huge factor in all of this, and accepting this challenge, and a challenge it has been, obviously. But at the end of the day, I know what he would have wanted me to do, and I know how he would have wanted me to do it. And so it's got me this far, you know, so I feel like he's always with me somehow.
He's there.
He's there. Oh, he's there.
Girls Like You is really an anthem in a way, and it's a beautiful song, but it's also a video that seemed like it was the perfect video at the perfect time with everything going on in our country with Me Too. And how will you incorporate that, and would we see any of those folks pop up, because you had a lot of famous faces in that video?
That video was really one of the most amazing projects I think I've ever been a part of in my life. It was exciting, it was scary, it was, you know, it was all these different emotions when I think back about the process. Yeah, the song meant a lot to a lot of people, and I thought that it was important for Maroon 5 to do something that you'd think would be done more often, which is celebrate women. That's a beautiful thing. We love the life that it gave the song beyond just the silly pop song. It kind of gathered a new meaning, you know, from the video, and of course I can't answer your question about people being there or not, but that's a lot of people. Trust me, just wrangling that many people for the video in general was tough enough. So I can't promise that every single person will be there for the Super Bowl. But having that song as part of our repertoire is one of those great things you always get to have. You know, like you always get to play that song that reminds women about how powerful they are and makes everybody feel good at the same time. It's really special. And so that's what the song means now. And it's great to be potentially playing the song at the Super Bowl, because that's what it does. That's the feeling that it produces. And so we're very happy to have a song that means that to so many people, especially to so many women.
Has it been hard to make the choice of what's in and what's out?
Given this task to whittle away at 20 years of music and live concert, performing on tour and putting on the best shows within a 90-minute context or however long. And they're like, okay, well, now you got to truncate all that. You got to put it in 12 and a half, 13 minutes. And you're like, all right. So that whole process has been, aside from the spiritual process, the physical process of putting it all together has been intense and so difficult, because you want to make sure you give everybody this small version of what you do live. So you have to be kind of true to that. And it's, man, I'll tell you, and we've had a lot of hits, and we've been very lucky, but too many.
Who's the final decision maker? Who's the final decision maker?
I was a humongous part of the process. I put the show together, and the band obviously we're always talking about it, and I'm always asking, and they're always giving me things, and we're always being a band. So that process never stops. But I think that bands quickly realize, in order to survive, you got to have a ringleader, got to have a mayor.
Somebody. Right.
Yeah. Sometimes a dictator, they say. No, I'm sorry. But yeah, so they trust me, and I trust them, and so I've been at the helm of this thing and putting it together, and with the guests as well. It's been a process.
To the people who now, as you prepare for this, and you say, just let the music speak.
Yes.
But there are people out there who want to hear from you. I mean, we're in Atlanta. We're so close to where Dr. King was born and raised. What do you say to the folks who say that they just want to be heard, and how will your performance speak to that?
They will be. That's all I want to say, because I don't want to spoil anything. And once again, I like to think that people know where I stand as a human being after 2 decades of doing this. I'm not a speaker. I'm not a public speaker. I do speak, but it's through the music. My life's work and what I've put out into the universe has been positive and hopefully inspiring. And it's funny, because people will reach out and say, hey, I was sick, or I went through this breakup, or I went through this traumatic life experience, and they'll say, your music helped me, thank you. And there's no more meaningful interaction as far as music is concerned, or what we do, than that, right? So what I would say is, we're going to keep doing what we're doing, hopefully without becoming politicians, and continuing to use the one voice we know how to use properly.
Right.
To make people understand, we got you. We got you.